Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today here with my little Serissa bonsai, or actually not so little. This is one of the bonsai in my collection that's actually on the bigger side. I have shown this in the video before, basically right after I've gotten it into my collection, and since then it has been a bit of a struggle with this tree. You probably can spot for yourself there is certain parts where the tree doesn't look as healthy as I hoped it would look. It has gone through a lot of changes. Today what I want to do is actually trim it back a little bit. You can see it has become quite laggy, especially up here. A lot of new growth that needs to be cut back a little bit because it's starting to lose its shape a bit. But I also want to talk about the general health of this tree and just my ideas for this tree in the future. So let's grab our scissors and get into pruning a little bit. I want to prune it back because, as I said, it has become quite laggy, but giving you a little bit of a view of the different areas, you can see there is some problems in the tree itself. It has basically through winter gone through quite difficult phases where it lost lots of leaves. It really died back at certain areas almost completely, especially here at this little side branch. You can see a lot of dieback has developed on this side here, so it lost a lot of leaves. And I think the problem was simply by getting it in the cold months. Bringing it home, of course, in winter is always quite difficult in my opinion, because just bringing it home already stresses the tree so much by getting it out of the garden center and back home with you. And that tree really took a long time to really get used to the new environment, I would say. So just by having it in my house, I could see that basically the week that I got it, it started to struggle a little bit, trying to adapt to this new environment and never really finding its footing in the beginning. And I think a lot was, as I said, due to because it simply was cold season, so it was missing the energy that it actually needed to get acclimated in its new place. And now the growth season has started. I do see a lot of new growth. I mean, that's why we're here doing this video today. You can see a lot of healthy new growth coming in here. But the problem was, as I said, that a lot of it has died back. So it simply looks a bit laggy at the moment. So by really going in and taking out quite big chunks of the branches here, we really try to get simply some shape into this tree again. So I'm really, especially up here, you can see we're talking here about, roughly 10 centimeter long shoots that have developed over the last couple of weeks actually, because only the last couple of weeks it really picked up again with growth. But it's still going through some difficult phases now and again, so there is a lot of new growth. Then I still see some dieback again. I think it also took me a little bit to figure out how to best take care of this tree. I do realize that the soil it came in is not the best, but as I got it in the middle of cold season and the health was never fully there, I didn't want to risk also repotting it at that point, because there would have been too much stress on the tree. So up until now I have not repotted it, but the soil is at one time very dense, but I think also at this point it doesn't hold the moisture that much any longer. So this tree is drying out quite fast, also in comparison to many of the other trees that I have that I actually have in inorganic soil. And I think that is one of the reasons it has been struggling a little bit, because just like half a day too long with this tree that I wait with watering, and I can already see that some of the foliage is turning yellow, then browning and falling off. But I also think what we're doing right now, this haircut, this getting back some shape, should help this tree. I have seen that it is quite prolific when it comes to budding back, so I will see a lot of new growth coming also from points that now maybe have died back or look like they have died back. And this way we simply encourage again growth from this point by also basically going around the entire tree and taking out the tips where we see them. Should help this tree simply to focus its energy more on lower branches again and getting more compact growth now, because that is really what it needs at the moment, just more compact growth. The health of the growth itself that is coming in at the moment is definitely fine, so that is not the problem. But I think if I would wait till the end of growth season until it also the health bounces completely back, I would have completely lost the shape on this tree, and it would be so difficult once it really hardens then to get it back to a shape that I'm happy with. But we're already making good progress. Here I would probably leave it at this because we already have nice branching out going. Here I think we can still go in and take a little bit out. And one more time turn it around. Yeah, here you can see basically here how it has died back. So there used to be leaf pairs here, and at the top here there is still some growth, but I would probably take this out almost completely and see where we can go from here. Also here, very unhealthy looking simply. So this side branches on this side and on that side, they probably struggled the most. These are also those branches, I hope you can see it, that actually do form all the way down here from the trunk. So it is actually basically one side branch that I already bought it like this was formed to support the main trunk here to make it look thicker and already give the impression of an older tree. It was then wired down here to give a side branch, and part of it was wired here to create the other side branch. And that is actually what has drawn me to this tree, because I do like the look of it, because it gives it a very old and gnarly look, and I really enjoyed it, especially with the bark of Serissa that starts to get flaky when it gets a bit older. This fits very, very well. So I do see a lot of potential in this tree, and I'm definitely sure if I get the health under control that this tree can potentially look very, very nice. But just, of course, for that, we need to work a little bit on it, and you need to realize what this tree needs. And I think I'm getting better at that, at a variety that I didn't have that much experience with before, but I think the learning curve is definitely there with it. As I said, pruning back today, hopefully seeing soon a lot of healthy new growth, and reading up a little bit on it when the best chance would be then to repot. I mean, we do talk about an indoor tree here for me, so normally you can also repot a bit later in summer still, as soon as there is still enough time for new growth in the year, you can normally still repot. But I really want to check out the health of the tree first. I feel like the soil will probably still make it over the next winter, but preferably I would like to repot into our inorganic soil before that still, just because I know how beneficial it would be for the tree. I have almost all of my bonsai by now in completely inorganic soil, and I just see how health-wise they're doing so much better in that mixture, and how also I am doing better with taking care of them in that mixture, because it's just so much more predictable than having trees that are in different soil mixtures with different amounts of organic parts in there, and then simply having trees that are struggling. So that definitely also helped me with just knowing what these trees will need when it comes to their soil needs also. Here we have really dead branching, so I would also just clean out here some of the dead branching already. But up here, for example, there's new growth showing. Also here there is mainly new growth also showing, so I wouldn't go in yet completely taking it out, because what I see on Serissa is actually that we have some dead parts, but then growth coming from even further ahead in the branch itself. So it doesn't make sense to take out the full branch only because you can see some dieback on it. There is still some life on it, definitely. So I think we have decreased the foliage by minimum 50%. Just let me give you an indication of what I have taken out now over the last couple of minutes. So it's really 2 handfuls of foliage here. And I think for now I'm happy with that. I wouldn't do any wiring or something on this tree right now. I just wanted to backbud now, create new shoots, creating new branching, and then we see what we keep, because the structure of the tree itself is something that I want to tackle definitely, because you can see, for example, here, this is growing downwards, so this we either wire up or take out in the future. Then we have like a nest of growth here in general that I'm not too happy with, that we probably will tackle in the future. But as I said, once the tree settles in and gets its health back, then there is the time to work on stuff like that. But for now, it's really just giving this tree the potential to regain its health before we really start looking into the structure and into the overall design of the tree. So yeah, I think for now and for today, this is already enough that we can do on this tree. Just a light little prune, giving you also some ideas on what I want to do with this tree, how it's been going so far. Definitely a tree that struggles a bit more than other trees in my collection, but still a tree I'm really happy always on working on and just taking care of it, because it teaches me a lot, because it is, as I said, a new variety for me. It is always, when a tree does struggle, I mean, it is always also potential to learn from that tree and try new things and see how you can really take care of that tree then. So still appreciating this tree a lot. Hopefully you enjoyed also seeing me working on this tree. If you have any questions about it or any tips that you have for me with regards to that tree, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will get to answer them as soon as I see them. If you enjoyed this video, of course, also feel free to leave a like. And if you enjoy my channel, of course, feel free to subscribe to it. So hopefully then I can see you in the next video. Until then, take care.